Recently, there has been much discussion on student loans and student debt. This is an ever-growing problem, and a problem particularly for college graduates. Total student loan debt in the United States is now second only to mortgage debt, and about 90% of all student loans are issued by the federal government. What's worse is that many students unknowingly take out more than they need and more than they can afford to repay. The federal government, as the lender, has a responsibility to at least ensure that students know what they're getting into with these loans and do that before they get in over their heads. I introduced legislation this week that would do just that. The title of my bill is Know Before You Owe, Federal Student Loan Act. That bill strengthens the current student loan counseling requirements. It would make loan counseling an annual requirement before new loans are dispersed rather than just for the first-time borrowers. My bill also adds several key components to the information required to be shared with students as part of loan counseling. For instance, colleges would have to provide an estimate of the student's projected loan debt to income ratio upon graduation. This would be based on the starting wages for that student's program of study and the estimated total student loan debt that they will likely take out to complete that student or that study program. That way, students will have a real picture of the student loan payments that they will face and whether they will be able to afford those payments with their likely future income. Now, in addition to enhanced counseling, the bill requires that a student manually enter the exact dollars and the amount of the loan for which the student wishes to borrow. The current process almost makes borrowing the maximum the default option. This will ensure that students make a conscious decision about how much they borrow. Too many graduates are struggling with crippling student loan debt. Too many young people are rudely awakened upon graduation to find that they owe more than they are able to repay. This needs to be prevented, and it can be prevented. There are many proposals to address the problem of unaffordable student loan debt after students have graduated. But that's closing the barn door after the horse has gotten out. This bill would encourage students to borrow only what they can afford in the first place, helping students to graduate on top of their finances rather than drowning in debt.